If there's one thing Scotland doesn't need, are more golf courses. God, there are golf courses everywhere. And all this business, this is going to be the best golf course in the world, or he's going to build 2 golf courses just for good measure. They're going to be the best in the world. Well, what does that mean? David Kennedy, who's David Kennedy? I don't know David Kennedy. I thought, well, thank God for that. I'd have been worried if a fella like Trump knew me. A lot of people said to me, oh, it must be awful to you, awful to you, having given so much of your life to Robert Gordon's, which is true. It must be awful to you to now have to give back your honorary degree, which you earned and worked for so much.
Oh no, it's not really a problem, you know. The county's prerogative to do that. It's his honorary degree, and if he feels very strongly about the issue, then of course, you know, it's his right to do with the degree that he's been awarded, and clearly people will you know, use different ways of making their own protests on issues they feel very strongly. And I guess I feel it's a shame, isn't it? Because obviously, you know, he'd worked so hard at university, and RGU is such a successful institution that he felt that he didn't want to continue to hold his honorary degree. And I can also understand where RGU are coming from, and they want to clearly build links with important local developments and businesses, and RGU's got a crucial role in our community. So I don't think it's an easy issue. There's lots of complicated issues within it, but at the end of the day, you know, David Kennedy must have the right to do as he wishes with his degree.
Two rights, actually. I mean, he's a distinguished academic, and given it in his protest against Donald Trump, who really, I mean, he spends his time throwing people at the houses all over the world. In fact, why should he get? Is that what he's getting his doctorate shit for? Good on Dr. Kennedy. I think it's brilliant. Good for him.
I think it was a pointless thing to do, really. I think most people favour the Trump proposal. I mean, I do myself, but I hope he does fully implement it and not sort of bail out some partially along the line. Because I've heard that in some other countries where he's done things, he's completed it to a certain point and then bailed out because he's going to make money anyway. So I hope he fully implements it well.
To be exclusive to usual capitalism, sorry. That's in a nutshell. It's just money. He probably bought his degree.
It's a free country, and everyone has the right to protest, and I think we should. I've spoken to a number of people who have said, you know what, I've only got one vote, it won't make a difference, I can't make a change. And fundamentally, it is that one vote, and it is that one vote will always make a change.
There were 3 criteria for honorary degrees. First of all, they had to be honourable people. That goes without saying. You can't give an honorary degree to somebody that's not honourable. Secondly, they had to have an achievement that was widely recognised in society. And thirdly, and very importantly, what is it that mattered to me? Students. They had to be a good role model for students.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. There's my hair okay, nice and fixed.
No doubt wealth will be created, but it's being created not to keep it here in the northeast. Mr. Trump will, if he's investing £750 million, he'll be taking out at least 2 or 3 times that, because that's what people do. You don't make an investment and leave it there, you take it out, you take the money away. So my prediction is that the northeast will end up, it'll be Mr. Trump that will be richer, and maybe 1 or 2 others who will be rich. I wouldn't dispute that, but the vast majority in the northeast will be no richer because of Mr. Trump. These people want Mr. Trump to come to Aberdeen, and they want to show that he's very welcome. And so they put Mr. Trump forward for an honorary degree, and they use their influence and pressure to ensure that Mr. Trump is given an honorary degree. Mr. Trump has achieved nothing in this country. He's achieved nothing. I don't believe he's an honourable man, personally, but I mean, that's a moot point. Why, you might say to me, why do you say that? I don't know Mr. Trump. I've never met Mr. Trump. I can go onto the internet, and if you look on Mr. Trump on the internet, you'll find all the things that Mr. Trump says about himself. The things he says about himself. What he says about himself is, you cannot be too greedy. That's what he says. You cannot be too greedy. In other words, he's that sort of man, always wanting it more and more and more, never satisfied. You can't be too greedy. Now, that person is anathema to me. He boasts about sacking people, which, I mean, I've had to sack people, but I did it with a great deal of sorrow, and it was forced. I mean, nobody would take pleasure out of sacking other human beings. I mean, sometimes you've got to do it, but I mean, you don't take pleasure out of it. So, I mean, I find that all absolutely incredible. So how, when you look at the things Mr. Trump has said about himself, how anybody could come to the conclusion this was a man that was a suitable role model for students? Well, I dread to think of students coming out and using him as a role model. I think to myself, what in God's name is Scotland going to be like in another 10 or 20 years' time if we are going to produce 10,000 Mr. Trumps? You know, what hurts me is that my colleagues could behave in the way that they did. After all that we've gone through, I would have hoped that they too would have shared something. They seem to share something with me, and I'm sorry that I would have been a happy man if somebody said to me, do you know what? Every one of your colleagues voted against Trump getting an honorary degree, and I would have said, hooray, great, I've succeeded. And the fact they didn't do that hurts me more than a piece of paper.